Hello everybody and welcome back to another anti-MLM video. I'm Christine, I'm glad you're here. Welcome back to the olden days. I am of the opinion that network marketers are getting desperate and more desperate than ever because the pool of people participating in network marketing is shrinking rapidly, and that's why they do not really have the ability at the moment to come out with new ideas, new thoughts, how to promote a bad business opportunity where most people lose money in a new and modern and upgraded or upscaled way. They rather fall back to the olden days and to the old ways of how to promote themselves. And I see that now regularly on social media. I made a video, I will link it up here, where somebody pretended that they offered a job, but in the end they didn't. They just offered a business opportunity, an arbonne business opportunity, and that is not hiring people. I don't offer you a job. I give you the opportunity to join a network marketing company where you can spend money to join said network marketing company. You're not offering somebody a job. It's simply a business opportunity, and it's actually a lousy business opportunity. Now, other things I see, and I currently see them regularly on social media, also makes me believe that that trend is continuing, and that is it's not a pyramid scheme trend. Now, this is a tale as old as MLMs, and it has a lot of flaws and a lot of holes in them, and all of those pitches like my network marketing company and MLMs are not pyramid schemes. You can exchange the distributor, you can exchange the product they claim make that not a pyramid scheme, you can exchange the MLM, but the tale is still as flawed. And I want to take a look at that today because that is also something I see popping up. Today we're going to take a look at a short video from an arbonne distributor, and I want to talk in depth about the topic network marketing companies and pyramid schemes, because the distributors tend to not go into a lot of detail, and I wonder why. And I see this topic popping up left and right. In one of the upcoming videos, I also have somebody who just did an entire reel on Instagram speaking about this. So that's also coming up. And then on Julie Anderson's Instagram, I saw that she also posted something very similar from Juice Plus. If I can find it, I will insert it here as well, where Juice Plus distributors were confronted with the question, is Juice Plus a pyramid scheme? Of course not. So this is an old trend that is being revived, and let's discuss this. Today we're going to take a look at a short 3-minute video from an arbonne distributor. I know we have the attention of a freaking goldfish these days. Speak for yourself. This is 3 minutes worth listening to. Open your mind if you're feeling stuck and unfulfilled or ready for more expansion in your life.
I literally was the biggest hater on network marketing, and I'm going to tell you why I changed my mind about it. And I actually asked ChatGPT today about it.
Well, there has to be some truth in it, right? Because if ChatGPT has an answer, you know it's good. You know that ChatGPT in the end is just an AI library, just like Google or a physical library. You still need to watch out what the sources are, but I guess that aside. Now, you might have heard this before. I was the biggest hater. I was the biggest anti-MLMer, but now I know it better. So this is an arbonne hun. Let's continue with her video.
Now, I didn't understand network marketing. I honestly thought it was a pyramid scheme. I thought that people just got screwed over, and I didn't understand the real business model to the whole thing.
If you follow anti-MLM, you have heard this probably a lot. I was the biggest hater. I thought that network marketing was a scam, that it was a pyramid scheme. That is what a lot of network marketing distributors claimed years ago, and they do that as well now. They were the biggest haters because they did not understand network marketing. Those poor souls were just uneducated, and that is why they didn't understand multi-level marketing and what the core is at multi-level marketing, thinking it was a pyramid scheme, thinking that people just get screwed over. But then, after looking at the business opportunity, something changed. Maybe you do recognize with these very general sentences, phrases, platitudes, that there is nothing specific. We have not heard any specifics why this arbonne distributor thought so, why she was the biggest hater, why she thought it was a scam, why she thought it was a pyramid scheme. We do not have any specifics. We just know that that was what she was thinking.
So after 2 years of being a hard no and honestly talk about it, I literally went to the meeting reluctantly, and I walked in there and I was kind of flabbergasted by the quality of people that were in that room. And the one person in particular where there was a physician in the room, and I thought to myself, if she's already earning multi-six figures and she's participating in this, I need to understand more.
There is a strange jump in the thought process and a disconnect I personally cannot follow ever in these I was the biggest hater stories, but now I'm missing more information, and that information is always missing. It's a lack of specifics. It's a lack of information for me, and that is why I wanted to do this video, to actually go into the details and to talk about why is it a scam, why is it a pyramid scheme, why were you potentially a hater. I'm missing more information, what happened in this transitioning phase. That is something that they like to leave out. If I were the biggest hater of something and I was talking shit, quote unquote, or beep, I thought people were screwed over by something, why would I want to join an event, a meeting, or a conference with people trying to convince me of something that I hate, that I believe is a scam? Why would I do that? That does not make any sense to me. That's the step that I'm always missing, and she doesn't explain it, surprise. She doesn't explain it either. The quality of people, of bullshitters, of grifters, cult members, people of the opposing group I'm actively hating on. They're inviting me to go to a meeting, to something, to meet up with them, to listen to their business opportunity. Why? Explain. Once again, we're missing specifics, we're missing details here. Why would I go to a cult conference when I know it's a scam, when I hate this, when I think these people are BS talkers? Why am I saying that? I said bullshit before. When these people are bullshitters, we're missing that. We're always missing that step, and I find it very, very confusing. Maybe you can shed some light on this. Maybe they're doing that on purpose, to not speak about any facts and actual details because they cannot really explain it, because they were always curious. I don't know, but that is a step that always confuses me. But I will jump back a couple of seconds where she speaks about what experience you made in that conference room. I will stop again, and then we will go into the actual nitty-gritty, because I think it is worth it in this case.
And the one person in particular where there was a physician in the room, and I thought to myself, if she's already earning multi-six figures and she's participating in this, I need to understand more. So I started to understand that I was already consuming products every single day. Skincare, nutrition, makeup, like everything that Arbonne had to offer, I literally could have been buying it at the pharmacy.
What? What? Huh? Okay, let me put this together so that it makes somewhat of sense to me, at least the timeline. Somebody with alleged credentials, a physician, made a lot of money, allegedly, in Arbonne, and that is why she changed her mind. And she understood that she could have bought a lot of superior products she already consumed from the pharmacy. Huh? By the way, "ha" is German for what? I don't quite get it. So somebody allegedly making a lot of money, that was the actual convincing point for her to say, hey, let me listen into this even further. Okay.
The only difference was that Arbonne was under European standards, and they were eliminating a way larger amount of ingredients that I ever thought possible, over 2,000 ingredients that could be potentially harmful for your health.
I do not want to comment on this anymore. I really don't. I really do not want to comment on this anymore. As a European, please stop it with the EU standards. Stop it, especially if you're preaching to a worldwide audience. Stop it. I, as a European, lived in the United States for 13 months, and I survived not having access to EU standard products. Please stop it. It's ridiculous from my perspective.
So I often say, like, nothing changed overnight, but everything changed overnight for me, because I said yes that night, and it changed the trajectory of my life, because I saw that everything that I wanted could be available if I decided to work this business like a true business.
Do you recognize that she never mentioned once any specifics why she thought MLMs like Arbonne, the network marketing company she joined, why they were a scam, why they screwed people over, etc. She never mentions why, and she also fails to mention why Arbonne, in her opinion, was different. Somebody made a lot of money, allegedly, and then I was sold at a conference, at an event. That's what I'm hearing. And I mean, the video is not over yet, but what I'm missing is the actual information and the definition of what is a pyramid scheme, and why are people being screwed over by people in network marketing, by network marketing companies. Nothing. Okay, let's listen in some more and I will provide context.
And so that's exactly what I did. I jumped in and I literally got running. I started to educate myself on the industry.
How did she start to educate herself on the industry? How? How was she then, after educating herself on network marketing, how was she then under the impression that it was not a pyramid scheme, that it was not a scam, that it did not screw people over? How? How was she sure that this was a thriving business and that Arbonne was a thriving business that she had to join? Where are the specifics? Where are the specific steps and the resources, the online resources that you could conveniently also just link to your Instagram so that we as her audience can also take a look and see, yeah, now I understand why she says network marketing is not a scam, Arbonne is not a scam. We're missing all of those specifics. I always like to point this out because that is something that I hear a lot from people who are on social media, whether it's influencers, lifestyle gurus, people who are selling you courses for the purpose of selling you courses, alleged success stories, people in network marketing. There are specifics are missing. That is one of the things that they can never explain to you, because I believe, number one, it would actually shed a light on why network marketing is such a bad business model, why their courses are maybe not the greatest, why hiring a life coach when you maybe could have other resources, or a financial guru who has no idea what they're talking about, why that might actually not be the best thing. But then again, we also have posts like this, I thought it was a pyramid scheme. So to promote your alleged business opportunity, your amazing business opportunity by pointing out the alleged flaws without addressing the flaws is also bad. Because from a marketing perspective, you don't necessarily want to talk about the things, the negative things associated with what you do. But when you do it, then you should at least be specific, and you should at least speak about the specifics. Arbonne is not a pyramid scheme, and here's the reason why. People are not being screwed over in Arbonne, and here's the reason why. And here is how I educated myself, and here are the individual steps I took.
Within 2.5 years, and my results are based on my effort, obviously. Within 2.5 years, I walked away from my corporate job, and now I've been literally self-employed for over 10 years doing this. I'm actually more passionate about it than I've ever been before, because I actually asked ChatGPT about what the industry whole as network marketers is right now and what's the future, and check this out.
Okay, so nothing. There is no further information on how she educated herself. Got it. She made money. She treated this like a business, blah, blah, blah. No resources, just alleged success stories. She's allegedly able to now do this successfully for 10 years. She was more passionate than others, of course. She was able to quit her 9-to-5 job. And it is sad that we do not hear any specifics from her personal route from hater to lover. Just that she embraced network marketing because she was influenced by somebody who allegedly made a lot of money. Then she allegedly was able to make a lot of money, and she hit the top rank in Arbonne. That's the route. That's what convinced her, and that's what's supposed to convince her audience now.
So we're talking about a $200 billion industry that's estimated to grow by another $100 billion in the next 8 years. So if you think that you'll miss the boat, which I often hear, they're like, oh, Alex, you've been doing this for a little bit longer. Well, it's actually just getting started, my friends.
Maybe that is why ChatGPT should not be your only source. And you should also do some critical thinking, because this alleged industry is going to grow so much according to ChatGPT, because critical thinking tells me that that is not the case. MLMs are shutting down left and right. Yes, the health and wellness sphere might grow, but not network marketing. MLMs are shutting down over the course of this year and last year. I do not even recall all of the companies that shut down. Companies are changing their compensation plan, and they turn to sales only in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, I cannot list all of the network marketing companies that already shut down, or that changed the compensation plan models, or that in my opinion are currently in deep, deep trouble. Please feel free to join in the comment section, because from the top of my head, I do not remember all of the ones. Rodan & Fields was one of the companies that shut down last year. Beachbody, they shut down the recruitment aspect and their sales only. Saint Beauty shut down. Then there was a sex toy company as well last year. They also shut down. Now, Sensi is struggling, I strongly believe that they're struggling, and they will very likely go retail as well. Young Living, in my opinion, is struggling. They had to change their compensation plan just like Sensi. doTERRA is also struggling. They all had videos coming out at the beginning of the year from the corporate side saying, We need to change something if we want to be able to operate any further. Monate as well, they also had compensation plan changes. They added other ranks, they changed their VIP program. Those are just some of the companies that I remember from the top of my head that are struggling. So to be on your social media and to claim, well, ChatGPT says that this is really a thriving industry is simply false. And if you open your eyes, then you would also be able to see that.
The other thing that I get is, well, if the products are that good, how come I never heard about it before? Or how come they're not sold in stores? Well, the reality is that's exactly why they're not sold in stores. So Arbonne's been building their business literally from word of mouth marketing for the last 45 years. So the benefit is Arbonne doesn't pay for marketing, which could cost millions and millions and millions of dollars. They also don't pay a retailer to be, putting the products on the shelf, paying the light and pay the employees, They much more rather invest their money into the production of the products, into clinical studies to actually prove that what we say and what they do actually does what it does.
Huh? Once again, German for what? I don't know. Did you ever take a look at the Arbonne products? They're pricey. They're really, really pricey. Why are, if that's the case, Arbonne's very basic products, like protein powders, so pricey? Protein powders, just one of the examples what Arbonne sells, are very basic products. They're very well researched, they're easily available in stores and online. Then why does a protein powder from Arbonne cost over $90 if you don't have to pay for marketing and for retail stores? Why is that product so pricey? Too close? Uncomfortable? Good. Why are Arbonne's products so pricey? A simple protein powder when you have the advantage that you have the most amazing products and the best business model. Why does an Arbonne protein powder cost $90? You could get a good protein powder that would meet an audience expectation for about $20. Those can have very similar ingredients, different flavors. Why is the price for Arbonne so pricey? Because, surprise, number one, Arbonne does pay for marketing. So the tale that they do not pay for marketing is simply false. If you take a look at their website, if you take a look at what the Huns post, there are pictures on Arbonne's website. There are promo materials for the distributors, and that is called marketing. Now, granted, that is not as much and probably not as high of a budget as it would be if you actually had a marketing sales force and they were to plan marketing in mainstream media, on streamers, or also online. But still, that is promo. The pictures on the website, the descriptions are promos. So that is also marketing. Arbonne does need to invest some money in marketing. Where does the money go then if you don't have a big marketing budget as other companies that are actually retail companies? They have a sales force of independently contracted salespeople like the person speaking here, unpaid for the most part, promoting Arbonne pretty much for free. So until these people are able to sell a product or to recruit somebody, they're not able to get a commission. Where is all of the money going then if you don't even pay pretty much for that type of promo? Well, maybe, just maybe, the Arbonne compensation plan can solve that mystery. There are sales percentages on a sold product. There are overrides on the team sales. There are car bonuses, team sales bonuses, more percent on teams overrides. The higher one ranks up on first, second, third generation recruits, more bonuses. The bigger the team gets. Maybe, just maybe, looking at the compensation plan, that is why Arbonne's products are so pricey, and not because of excessive testing and because they match up with the EU standards. Because you have to pay each and every bit of that compensation plan, and that is why the products are so excessively pricey. Arbonne not only has to pay the salesperson that might be lucky to sell a protein powder worth $90, according to Arbonne, but also their upline, and then you also have to pay the bonuses on top. If a few people in this day and age are still able to participate in the car program, those are also additional bonuses. That is where the money goes. It's in the compensation plan. Now, the money is not distributed evenly. The people at the bottom pay into a system, and the money is being funneled up to the top, or from the customer from the bottom to the top. But that is where the money goes. And the people in the higher ranks get more payments. They're able to participate in more bonuses. They're able to participate in their team's efforts. because the money is being funneled up. So in a way, the distributors are the middlemen. They are the marketers because they do that for free until they're able to sell a product or recruit somebody. And in a way, they're the retailers because that is where the money goes. Oh, and then Arbonne, the corporate side, they also want to make a profit.
Which is so reassuring when you think about it, because like, who doesn't want to be using products that actually work? I'd rather be using products that actually work and that eliminate toxins. So all this to say is that you get to decide. It's $65 to start an Arbonne business. It literally takes 5 minutes to start your own online business, turnkey. They create the most phenomenal products. There's no monthly purchases. There's no monthly obligations. There's no quotas. There's none of that. It's just you decide if you want to do something and create something really awesome with it.
Okay, so no more info, no more details. Let's talk about pyramid schemes and scams then, shall we? She did, as is typical in my opinion for people claiming that it's not a pyramid scheme, it's not a scam. I educated myself. She does not give any specifics why she thought that MLMs are pyramid schemes. So let me do that for her, and we go to the FTC website, to the Federal Trade Commission's website, and we will take a look at that a bit closer because she doesn't do it. You know, it's getting serious when I pull out my glasses. Do-da, do-da. Kühe lieben Jazz. Was zur Hölle? Saxophonspieler verzaubert Herde in der Schweiz. You know that when you have weird news popping up that a saxophone player is enchanting cows in Switzerland? Why? Anywho, let's go to the FTC's website. I will link it down below as well if you want to take a look yourself. Multi-level marketing businesses and pyramid schemes. Businesses that involve selling products to family and friends and recruiting other people to do the same are called multi-level marketing, MLM, network marketing, or direct marketing businesses. Some MLMs are illegal pyramid schemes. Before joining an MLM program, here are some things to know. Does that sound familiar to you? Start with family and friends and sell to them. What are MLMs and how do they work? MLM companies sell their products or services through person-to-person sales. That means you're selling directly to other people, maybe from your home, a customer's home, or online. If you join an MLM program, the company may refer to you as an independent distributor, participant, or contractor. Most MLMs say you can make money two ways: by selling the MLM products yourself to retail customers who are not involved in the MLM, or by recruiting new distributors and earning commissions based on what they buy and their sales to retail customers. Your recruits, the people they recruit, and so on, become your sales network or downline. If the MLM is not a pyramid scheme, it will pay you based on your sales to retail customers without having to recruit new distributors. That is also in bold letters, and that is why it is so important. Maybe we should point that out. If your MLM, so if Arbonne is not a pyramid scheme, then your payment will be based on the actual sales of the product to retail customers. You do not need to recruit distributors. Most people who join legitimate MLMs make little or no money. Some of them lose money. In some cases, people believe they've joined a legitimate MLM, but it turns out to be an illegal pyramid scheme that steals everything they invest and leaves them deeply in debt. Why doesn't she in this case point out specifics? Why Arbonne specifically is not a network marketing by linking to the FTC page and also reading that paragraph. It is not a pyramid scheme because the business model is based on sales to retail customers and not to your downline, where you recruit new distributors, aka your downline. I believe because giving those specifics, if she would actually do that, would raise red flags, all of the red flags, since you are able to make some money in Arbonne by just selling the products, but you can make a lot more money if you recruit people and benefit from their sales and also from their purchases. Arbonne's compensation plan is predominantly built on team building, aka the recruitment of new distributors, which is a warning sign from the FTC. Arbonne, in their compensation plan overview alone, list 4 ways you can make money. Number 1 is based on selling to customers, and the other 3 are connected to recruiting a team's effort. And that is concerning. It raises questions. That is why it might be better for an Arbonne distributor to not mention specifics. how pyramid schemes operate, since the Arbonne compensation plan overview already says you make more money if you recruit. The income disclosure statement from Arbonne also shows that the few people in the upper ranks, they make more money than the vast majority at the lower ranks. Ironically, Arbonne states that you cannot make money by only recruiting someone. It is always connected to sales, but you still make more money if you have a bigger team. That is how you rank up. For one person alone, it is difficult to be an Arbonne National Vice President. 0.4% of the people in the company, as well as the distributor that I've shown you, they are at that rank. And they make on average $148,000 annually, because you have to, over the course of 2 months, for example, accumulate a total of 384,000 QV over both months, that is sales volume, and each and every month 150 PQV, that is personal qualifying volume. PQV equals the QV from product sales through the Arbonne account and through the sales to your personally registered clients and preferred clients. So that is actually the sales to customers. And then 160,000 QV, that is the sales from your downline or from your region, which is also your downline. You need a team to fulfill these requirements each and every month, because it is not possible for one person to sell this much product each and every month. And that is why you have to recruit a team. And the bigger the team, the more humans you have on this team, the more humans try to sell products, the more likely it is that you hit 160,000 QV each month. It is more likely for an individual to hit monthly 150 PQV, your own sales. It is super unbalanced if you take a look at these numbers. You can tell just at a first glance where the focus is. It is on team building and on selling ridiculous amounts of products each and every month as a team, whereas you as an individual only have to sell 150. And these are the details that, in my opinion, out Arbonne as a pyramid scheme, because the distributors, I believe, do not like to discuss these details. The FTC further warns that most people who join legitimate MLMs, they make little or no money. Some of them lose money. In some cases, people believe they've joined a legitimate MLM, but it turns out to be an illegal pyramid scheme that steals everything they invest and leaves them deeply in debt. It's science. It is science, people. It's not a light that doesn't work properly. Come on. There's something wrong with this light. Should I just hold it like this? Can you see it? It's a sign that Arbonne is not a good business model. Okay, light is working again. Oh, come on. I will just turn you off. This is not helpful. Excuse me, little plant. Ich brauche mehr Licht. Licht. I think it's a sign that the line said, nope, I'm out. It's a scam, in my opinion. That's what the light said, right? Not me. The light said it's potentially a scam, so I'm out of here. Good for you. But what I was saying is that the FTC points out that most people lose money and they might be left deeply in debt. But I believe this is an uncomfortable conversation that you need to have, though, if you want to entice people to join a business opportunity, when the FTC warns that most people will end up in debt in network marketing, because most people are at the bottom of a pyramid and they pretty much invest money they don't get back. That is an uncomfortable conversation because it is also truthful in Arbonne. Most Arbonne distributors are at the lowest rank, 85.3%. As consultants, that's the name of the rank, and they make a median annual earnings of $77. These people end up in debt if they purchase some products, and if they purchase a lot of products, if they make a lot of business expenses, in the hopes that they might make a profit at some point, then they end up in debt deeply. So even if you are in something that the FTC for legal purposes has to consider a legitimate MLM, you will very likely make very little money and you will potentially lose a lot of money. And that also rings true in Arbonne, because These earnings do not represent independent consultant expenses incurred in the operation of their business, like the registration fee. In 2023, it was $99. The renewal fee, which was also in 23, $99. We don't have an updated income disclosure statement from 24. That, in my opinion, is another sign that something is off. Event registration fees, travel, office supplies, insurance premiums, product purchases for business purposes, etc. With $77 at the lowest ranks where most people are, most consultants lose money. Just a handful of products and you have already lost money. And Arbonne shows even further that it does not offer a great business opportunity if you actually want to make a profit, since earnings are not guaranteed and 18% of the consultants represented above had no gross earnings in 23. They made nothing, nada, nichts. What a legitimate business opportunity where 18% of the people in this business opportunity make $0. And most people who even make a little bit of a profit, they end up in debt because they have more expenses. Those people very likely lost money. So that's a great opportunity, and that is why I believe the consultants who claim that they were the biggest haters and the naysayers, they do not specify what they mean, do not point their targets into the direction of the documentation I just showed you, of researching what a pyramid scheme actually is, what scams actually are. Because if you say, hey, you can do this, if you hit the ground running, if you treat this like a business, this will pay you back, which is obviously not the case. If most people in Arbonne lose money, then I would consider that a scam. And in my personal opinion, I understand why one might consider Arbonne both a scam and a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes are a scam. They can look remarkably like legitimate MLM business opportunities and often sell actual products, maybe even ones you've heard of. But if you become a distributor for a pyramid scheme, it can cost you and your recruits, often your family and friends, a lot of time and money that they won't get back. That sounds oddly familiar when I think about the compensation plan and the income disclosure statement I just showed you. Interesting. The promoters of a pyramid scheme may try to recruit you with pitches about what you'll earn. They may say you can change your life. Where have we heard that before? Quit your job. Yeah. And even get rich. Sure. By selling the company's product. That is a lie. Your income would be based mostly on how many people you can recruit. So just like the Arbonne compensation plan that it showed, you will have to recruit a big team and then you're able to participate in overrides and bonuses. I mean, I personally would interpret it as such. Your income would be based mostly on how many people you recruit, not how much product you sell. Pyramid schemes are set up to encourage everyone to keep recruiting people, to keep a constant stream of new distributors and their money flowing into the business. And to finish this off with some actual facts, here are also some more warning signs of pyramid schemes that's also available on the FTC's website. Like I said, take a look there. I think that can be really interesting. Promoters make extravagant promises about earning potentials. Stop. These promises are false. Yeah, we've heard that as well. I was able to make a great living over the past 10 years. I live in a mansion. I do this, I do that. I was able to quit my 9 to 5. I mean, if I can do it, why shouldn't you be able to do it? It's about work ethic. Promoters emphasize recruiting new distributors for your sales network as the real way to make money. Yeah, we've also never heard that, right? Walk away. In a legitimate MLM program, you should be able to make money just by selling the products. Promoters play on your emotions or use high-pressure sales tactics, maybe saying you'll lose the opportunity if you don't act now, and discourage you from taking time to study the company, or maybe leaving out details about why this could potentially be a pyramid scheme. Leave by the nearest exit. Any company that tries to pressure you to join is one to avoid. Distributors buy more products than they want to use or can resell just to stay active in the company or to qualify for bonuses or other rewards. If you see this happening, keep your money. Just as a background information as well, the distributor we just took a look at, she purchased a lot of boxes from their latest fizz drink, their energy drink. It was a special flavor. So maybe not just to keep certain bonus payments, but to pay for certain items and to buy boxes over boxes over boxes because something is a new flavor and it is allegedly that great. Encourage your team to do the very same thing. It does sound very sketchy in my opinion, and that was what she did. They came out with a pear flavor. I also reacted to that in a video. If I remember, I will link it up here if you want to take a look. And that's why I guess we don't hear a lot of details when it comes to pyramid schemes and scams, because if you really addressed those topics in detail, most people would say, but that's exactly what your company does. That's what you're doing. That's how the compensation plan is built. And why do you buy 5, 6, 7 packs of a flavor, of a pear flavored energy drink? Because you love it so much, or because you encourage buying those products as well? So why, if a distributor doesn't even address the actual details, why would they make such claims? I was a hater. I thought it was a scam. I thought it was a pyramid scheme when you don't really properly address it. I believe to sound herself, in this case, more relatable. I was a skeptic too, but now that I found success, I know it's not a scam. I'm not giving you any specifics because I can't, and I need you to believe that too, so I can continue to make money, because I need a big team to keep the top rank in Arbonne. And while it is all about my dedication to work hard to make this a full-time business, I need you to do the same. That's what I believe. And since I've seen these types of pitches again and again, I was the biggest hater. I was the biggest no, it's not a pyramid scheme, it's not a scam, but there are no specifics as to why. I thought it was interesting to do this video. There are more videos coming also with those platitudes. I believe distributors in 2025, they just run out of ideas, and that is why they need to revive the vintage pitches from years ago. I just wait for the franchise thing. Why don't you join my team for $65? That is a lot less money than you opening a franchise. Just waiting for that. And I will make a dedicated video about that as well. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this was interesting. I think that those kind of pitches are on the rise again because they're simply desperation. The market for network marketers is getting smaller and smaller. It is shrinking rapidly, and the few people that are still doing network marketing, that are still interested, they have less and less companies they can go to, but they will also fall off rather quickly. So now the Huns are pretty much exchanging network marketing companies, and it's getting a smaller and smaller and smaller pool. And these videos are also one of the tools to alert people to not fall for this. That's why I think it is so important to speak about this. It's not a pyramid scheme, scam thing. And yeah, more videos coming your way as well. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for your support. I appreciate that you're here. If you liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you do not want to miss out on further uploads. And if you liked this specific video, then hopefully I will see you in my next one. Until then, cheers!